Think outside the box, if you will. I mean, go there, go off campus. Let's think this through. And sure enough, that's where the Mustang was born. When it finally hit, it took the country by storm.
Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of Cars in Context. I'm your host, John Clor. You know, this is the Motor City, and this is the show where we put cars into the context of your everyday life. We love to celebrate our rich automotive heritage here in Grosse Pointe and in Detroit, Michigan, but we will make no excuses or exceptions for our decidedly Detroit perspective on the world. And today I've got some incredible news and perspective of something that happened to me. A car guy, a self-proclaimed expert. Something happened to me that was caused by the EPA and I should have known better, and now I'm going to make sure it doesn't happen to you. The topic of today's show is how the EPA killed my Mustang. They killed my classic Mustang. And to sort it all out, our expert is none other than Chris Sawyer. Chris!
Hi, John.
Welcome to Cars in Context.
It's Mustang too, right?
Yeah, it's a Mustang.
Some would argue with you, but it's okay.
It's not Mustang also. But and if you've read my book, Mustang Dynasty, you understand the importance of that car
it was real good.
in the 50 years of Mustang. But something that the EPA did killed not only my collector car, but anybody
Just
that has,
remember Ronald Reagan's favorite words.
well,
That the 9 most dangerous words in the world are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
I thought it was, I forgot.
Well,
Okay, anyway, but they did. The EPA did something that killed my collector car and has killed a lot of people's collector cars, lawnmowers, tractors, all over the country. And if we don't tell you about it, you're going to fall victim to this, and it's going to cost you big dollars, as it's going to cost me to fix it. But before we get to that, before we give them this incredible information, we have to find out what's happening
in the news.
That's right.
Yeah.
I love that.
You go first.
Have you done this before?
Couple of times.
Okay, so here's some great news, Chris. Miles per gallon of the average car in the United States of America is, are you ready for this? The best ever.
Really?
Yes.
We're always being told that such slugs and things are terrible, and you've
I
got
know.
good news, really?
This is, well, here's the deal.
What the hell is wrong with you?
The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency,
Oh, those guys.
yeah, the EPA, the ones that killed my Mustang. They said the average fuel economy for new cars and trucks produced in 2013, which is the last time they've fully measured it,
Right.
jumped to 24.1 miles per gallon average. That's a half MPG increase over the prior year. Can you believe it? We've gone up a half MPG.
Woohoo! Alert the media.
Try to keep your clothes on. This is the best number.
okay.
Okay, this is the best number in the 40 years the EPA has been keeping track. And the saddest thing about that stat is the EPA has been around for 40 years. But the agency worries that because of that half-gallon increase, guess what? They think now we're going to start buying the less fuel-efficient cars. We're going to start saying, you know what? I don't have to keep renting the truck at Lowe's. I can buy my own pickup. I can have freedom of choice. They're worried that we can get what we want, but it may not be as fuel efficient as their things that they're trying to send to us.
I don't care what some bureaucrat thinks. I'm going to buy what I want because I want it or need it or whatever because I'm an American. Isn't that written in the Constitution somewhere?
Well, it's certainly got to be somewhere on the virtualdriver.com. Anyway,
oh, many times.
And meanwhile, so just want, you know, they said, oh, Nissan, you're so great because, you know, your 28.1 leads the, of course,
Okay, now wait a minute. Nissan sells what? The Frontier pickup
and that
and
two
the
of those
Titan.
two of those Titans.
Okay, we'll make 3. They had sales increase this year.
But they congratulated them on being the best year.
Yeah, that's why I don't buy this garbage because Mazda was high on their list too.
Oh,
Mazda doesn't sell any trucks.
Mazda was the #1. They said that your increase was the best because, of course, they don't sell a pickup. So, see, again, it's not in context. Hello? Yeah. So, but here's the bad news. There's always some bad news.
Yes?
Yeah. The cost.
Oh, they're getting really remember when we were writing at Auto Week and it was, people said, cars are getting darn near $20,000.
20 grand for a new car, that's the average price.
And the average price is now?
$34,000. $34,000 is now the average cost of a new car because, oh, we got to have all this technology on it. You open the hood and it's like you can't even see to the street anymore.
I hate to rain on your parade, but it's gonna really go in the next couple of years because they've got to put approximately $1,800 a car to meet the new ZEV standards or PZEV standards.
Oh, Lord. And just
The thing
wait
is,
until...
So your car price is going to go up about $1,800, and there's going to be nothing to show for it.
And when you people who can't stand driving because you want to watch your smartphone all day, because you're driving with your smartphone now, I can see you on 94 on this. Hey, you're going to even be worse because you're going to have like 8,000 pounds of equipment on top of your car for the autonomous self-driving car that you buy, and that'll be another $10,000.
Oh, 10? Try again.
So buy your cars now while you can,
that's
folks.
right.
Give me some better news, please.
Okay, well, I'll try, but I'm not holding on your hope for this. So,
Yeah.
we talked about hackers and
we
how
did,
they get in your car.
We did the V2V show about how
Right.
people can hack into your
Vehicle
car.
to vehicle, yep. And they've done it through a tire pressure monitoring system, the Bluetooth connection,
I
Wi-Fi
understand.
or cellular.
I know.
And now, hey, guess what? Chrysler and Ford and GM all they turn your car into a hotspot.
No.
Yeah, oh yeah, you got a router on board.
I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw that on a
exactly.
commercial.
Well, so now they're on the CAN. They're in. And the CAN's the controller area network. It controls all the electronic systems on the cars. We can thank the Germans for that one. But now an Israeli software company called TowerSec,
TowerSec.
says it has
I
developed...
like triple sec, but I put it in my
Yeah,
Irish
really.
coffee.
People accuse us of drinking that before we're on the air, but
No,
anyway,
we're
it's-
totally sober right now.
it's really, think of how bad we are otherwise. It developed a software solution that can prevent cars from being hijacked.
So they mean, wait a minute. So you have this possibility to be hijacked. So they're going to give you software to fix it?
It's called ECU Shield, which listens for abnormalities on the vehicle's CAN.
Okay.
If the software detects an abnormality, it blocks or eliminates it. And it says the software can be added to and embedded to any ECU for less than $10 a car.
So listen, I'm making a car that's going to get hacked, but hey, for $10, I'll keep you on some insurance. Come on, seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, this is awful.
It's called opportunity.
This is just terrible.
Sure it is. Stupid.
You know, and
That's why it's a
they can hack through your tire pressure monitoring system?
That's why sitting in my garage are two 1969 cars that have no electronics on.
Oh, Lord.
Try and find me.
Yeah. Well, Snowden doesn't even know where you are. Okay, so here. Speaking of that,
We're not sure where he
speaking
is
of
these
your
days.
old sports car, did you know that BMW is claiming that sports cars are in the tank? Oh my God!
Could that be because BMW's not really building anything you call a sporting car anymore?
Isn't that sad?
It really is.
BMW, the driving machine.
Yeah, now they're building little front-wheel drive cars.
What's wrong with them?
The 2 Series Sportster?
The almighty
and-
Benjamins, that's all they care about. No,
Yes.
they actually said since the Great Recession, we'll never, ever see a heyday for sports cars again. That's what they're saying. Yeah,
Never
and they
say
said
never
it was
again.
half of what it was, and they blame the drop in sports cars because the car as a status symbol is a cool car. Nobody really needs a cool car to be cool. You just need some cell phone that can do this and that. Because you don't need a cool car.
And like that statement that kids don't buy cars and they're not interested
Yeah.
in cars and all of that, I call BS on this one.
I do too, because okay, you might be 24 years old and you're talking to this chick at B-Dubs and you say, hey, you want to go have for a coffee at Starbucks? And then she thinks you're really cool because you got this really cool clothes and you got
And you use words like
you got the
B-Dub.
shoes and and then you got the best new Android phone, and then you walk out to your mom's beater Honda Accord 4-door with like all the hubcaps missing a bunch, and she goes, ooh, it's still not cool.
No.
Cars still. Yeah, well, thank you. Thank God. So,
And you didn't finish that thought, and I'm glad you didn't because I know where you were going with that one.
hey, that's a whole nother show. But right
And
now,
so, by the way, isn't BMW working with Toyota on a new sports car?
but Chris, it's a mid-sized sports car. What is that?
What's one bigger than a tiny little one?
The reason they're doing it, they want to split the cost. When you work with Toyota on anything, come on. I mean, Toyota is.
We build more exciting cars in the
They
world.
build toasters. They build toasters. The Camry, what a great toaster. That car is wonderful, but it has
I'd say,
it's got the personality of a fart in a paper bag. I mean, this is.
No. The new ones get much nicer paper bag.
because now it's going, because it's designed here now.
Well,
Remember?
yeah.
I mean,
the
they used
chief
to be
engineers here now.
Well, thank God they're coming over here and say, we can't drive that. Hey, we need to do a whole show on really boring, ugly cars.
Oh, God, do we have that much time?
No, not today. Why don't you give me another headline
Okay.
before I start crying?
According to a report from the Transport and Environmental Federation in Europe, Mercedes-Benz manipulated the European test cycle
What?
to get the best fuel economy figures.
It can't say it isn't so, Chris.
But no one seems shocked at the cheating. I'm shocked. There's gambling in this institution.
Why aren't they shocked?
As the European MBG test has long been considered a joke. Come on, you look at these cars, you say, we get 57 miles a gallon on the
Yeah.
European test cycle. Really?
Yeah, you bought that hybrid and you get like 20 miles per gallon less.
The gap between real world fuel economy results and test results is 31%.
That's ridiculous.
That means the European drivers are paying an additional $620 a year at the pump versus what it says in the test label. So what does this tell you?
I don't know.
That you trust government? No.
So why are you doing that? Then why the label?
The whole reason, the best reason to do the test is to have a comparator say that A to A, B to B, C to C, and the numbers mean nothing.
Oh, wow.
And if you really want to get crazy about it,
Well, we do.
we're coming to 2025 and the 54.5 mile per gallon fuel economy average. If you think you're going to get a car that gets 54.5 miles a gallon,
Yeah.
own a diesel, because it's the only way you're going to do it. Because what they're doing is they're using the old EPA numbers before all the changes were made to make them closer to real life. Remember back in the 70s when a Datsun Sunny used to get 50 miles a gallon? Those are the EPA tests we're using. And that's going to make the 54.5 mile per gallon.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
A Datsun Sunny?
A Datsun Sunny.
Good Lord.
Not only was it ugly, it was the dumbest name.
If you were driving a Datsun Sunny,
But you know what? You had to share
wouldn't
it.
you wouldn't know what a woman is.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Unless it was inflatable. But anyway.
I'm not going to pump you up for this one. Listen.
Okay.
I've got some serious news now. You know how you're on the freeway, everybody's texting. We've had so many campaigns, stop texting. You just, you see them anyway. You're on TV, I don't text. You're responding to surveys, lying. You're all lying because you are texting when you say, I would never do that. That's
I
unsafe.
think it's dangerous, but hey, well,
Yeah. Somebody just, somebody, I got to take this text. So the problem is, folks, AT&T, our friends, just did a study. And they say, even though we know it's totally unsafe and people are dying from answering text, we have evidence of this, right? They said, we can't stop. Why? Because we're addicted.
I blame Pavlov.
Pavlov? It's Pavlov?
And not just the girl I went to school with.
No, her name
that
was
was her
Pavlov.
name.
That
Yeah,
was-
it was. Yeah,
Oh, it was
Kristen,
Pavlov?
Kristen Pavlov. She's
Oh.
funny
Hi,
thing is,
Kristen.
she's a psychologist.
Re-
Actually,
Really?
a psychiatrist. Yes.
Really?
The funny thing is,
She's on the Big Bang
that
Theory.
they're saying that it's elevation of dopamine, neurochemicals in the
Yeah.
brain. No.
No, that's
No,
what the study
baloney,
said that.
Baloney,
The study.
baloney. It goes way back before that. And you know why I blame? Alexander Graham Bell.
Graham.
Because we've been taught every time that phone goes off to go get it. Every time the doorbell rings, you answer it. So now, here we are. We've got all this mobile text with us, mobile digital stuff with us. And so it goes off. What's the first thing we do? I got to answer it. We have been conditioned.
So
We've been in the Skinner box for all this time.
it's like Pavlov's dog. It's not, we're just so conditioned.
Yes,
we can't help
absolutely.
ourselves.
Exactly.
So the problem is now there's a new app. There's an app for that. Folks, there's an app for that. There's an app for everything. Why isn't there an app for me to become a millionaire tomorrow? I don't have it. It's not on the App Store.
I had 100 things just run through my head, and all of them would have been nasty, so I'm not going to say them.
So this app, you can buy this app, and it'll silence your text. You won't even know you're getting one if the car is going over like 15 miles per hour. Turns it off.
What about if it's moving at all? You know what? I actually saw somebody on the phone, just got gas.
Now, wait
They
a second.
backed up into the bloody stanchion in the middle of the forecourt because they were texting.
I love it. I love
Took
it.
the whole rear quarter off of it.
Uh-oh, better get
and
Mako.
And she
Yeah.
knows who she is. And let me tell you, she was the most embarrassed woman I've ever
What you
seen in
do
my
when you see
life.
that, folks, you go like this, and that just embarrasses them. Yeah, but
No, I love the guy in the pump next to me. He just looks at me and goes, really?
so if you're part of the It Can Wait campaign, just understand it's chemical, it's dependent, and as Chris says, we've just been trained. You really do have to stop texting. Really, is it that important?
It's not important. Drive the car. It's more fun.
Yeah, it really is. So, Chris, that was just ungodly. That was a horrific news segment, but we do have stuff that is fun, and that's the one we have, car trivia time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hit me.
So today's car trivia is, you're going to love this one.
Okay.
And I think, knowing your knowledge of older cars, you actually get this one.
You saying I'm old?
No, you just know classics.
Because I am, actually.
Yeah, we're going to talk about classic cars. Well, great cars of the past. Now this one, folks, is going to be tough. This is
Okay.
where we ask you a trivia question, and we ask you to put your thinking caps on. Again, don't get on your smartphone, Google it. Oh, we got a break for the commercial. Oh, we come back. No, just try to think about it, okay? Give your brain some exercise. I know that's a novel thing to do. And we're going to give you this question, and then when you come back, we'll give you the answer. So here's the question. This one's great. What does, and I'll say this in quotes, the spirit of ecstasy refer to in the auto industry? The spirit of ecstasy. And stop thinking that way. Just stop. Okay?
It's not what
It's
goes
not-
on in the
that's
back
just
seat?
Nothing to do with the back seat. It's the spirit of
Isn't
ecstasy.
that why they put bench seats in
Would
front
you,
of cars?
folks, keep it on the up and up, Chris. I'm telling you, this is a really good one.
It's not the feeling you get when you hit the apex just right.
That's the spirit of ecstasy, yeah. Or when the cell phone goes off and you didn't touch it. I'll wait till I stop. So we're going to give you the answer to this trivia question right after this, and then we'll put Chris on the driver's seat for, what happened? How did the EPA kill my Mustang? Right after this. Hi, and welcome back to Cars in Context. I'm your host, John Clor. Today, we're talking about how the EPA killed my Mustang. We've got with us Chris Sawyer. Chris, thevirtualdriver.com, the best automotive blog in all of automotive dumb.
What would I do without you?
And I didn't call you dumb.
Well, you're one of the few people who didn't.
I know. Listen, Chris, we gave everyone...
But then you're not family.
Well, I feel like family often. But we gave them really one of the toughest, one of the coolest kind of trivia questions we've had in a while here in Cars in Context. And if you were just there before the break and you're still thinking, what is he talking about? Here was the question. What does the spirit of ecstasy refer to in the auto industry? And Chris, I know what you're thinking. So you have to... This is a real deal, and you know all about this. I know you know the answer to this. So if you don't know what that spirit of ecstasy is, we're going to tell you right now. The answer? It's the official name of the mascot for Rolls-Royce, as depicted by the lady on the brand's famed radiator cap. She's flowing, and she's voluptuous, and she's got long hair, and she's
flowing gown and all that.
and that gown is in the wind. It's the spirit of ecstasy that you get from driving a Rolls-Royce. Of course, with a beautiful woman in the car wouldn't hurt either.
No,
Why do women keep coming into our conversation?
I don't know.
It's going to be a tough day on the way home tonight.
We're going to have to
Yeah,
really
we
answer
have a
some
lot of-
questions when we get home.
Lucy, got some splaining to do. Okay, so I hope you got that trivia answer, because those are the kinds of things that really make the industry fun. Really does. And the other part that makes it fun is that we have something called the Environmental Protection Agency, which really just drives me crazy because they make changes to things that we hold near and dear. I like classic old cars, and some of my old cars have what they call a flat-tappet engine. That's where the camshaft has a flat tappet, and as the camshaft goes round, it pushes on the tappet, which pushes on
The way tappets have been since the dawn of time.
Yeah, and what happens is the reason those flat tappets work is because we have something called motor oil, and motor oil is a lubricant, and it keeps the flat tappets from, it's metal against metal, and from wearing the metal out. The lubricant and the viscosity, all very important points in this oil, and it keeps your engine running without self-destructing.
Well, it needs more than oil.
Yeah, it does. It does. And there are certain chemicals in there. We know, like back in the old day, the EPA got lead out of our gasoline because lead was used as a lubricant for valve train. And it would keep the seats, the valve seats, from deteriorating, and lead was important. But if you would use non-leaded gas in your car that was designed for use with lead, the valve seals would wear out. You'd have to have go
Harden the seats, yeah.
take the whole engine apart and harden the seats and do. I mean, it's a lot of work to upfit, if you will. So guess what, folks? My beautiful classic Mustang, I had a small block Ford 302 5-liter engine redone by a famed engine builder in Dayton, Ohio. And he put a hyper compression.
The Wright brothers? They're from Dayton, Ohio.
Yeah,
Anyway, I'm sorry.
yeah. These guys won a Fun Ford Weekend. They really know small block Fords. So I had them build my 302 and used Hypo 289 heads, really nice medium lift camshaft. So it's a little, you like when you
Little
roll,
lopey.
you little lopey, you come up to the cruise,
Whoop,
go,
whoop, whoop,
hoppity, 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 hoppity. And some guy goes, hey, mister, does that have a camshaft in it? And you say, well, of course it does. How would it run?
That's right.
No, you know what I'm saying. So I had this wonderful car a couple of years, and every year I babied it. I got the engine done. The car was fully restored. It was rotisserie. I took it to shows. I had changed the oil in the spring with a new filter, changed the oil in the fall, brand new oil, the best.
Should we get the violins going? Because you got the whole, the whole thing.
Yeah, and then last year, so I'm driving back from the Woodward Dream Cruise, and the car starts acting funny. It goes blah, blah, blah. No, it says it starts. I thought it was an exhaust leak, but apparently it was backfiring through the carburetor.
Oh,
yeah, and
so it was coming back up through the seats and into the.
Correct.
Oh,
so
nice.
I thought, what could possibly cause this brand new engine? What could cause this? So I took it up to Mike Ferrari up at Ride Perfection, and Mike looks at it. He goes, John, I hate to tell you this. I don't know how this happened, but your camshaft lobes have rounded off, and you're actually when the engine is opening the valve, it's firing back up. What happened is I was using brand new motor oil. Today's modern motor oil in the last 4 to 5 years does not contain zinc. And zinc is an important part of flat-tappet engine technology. Modern engines use a roller camshaft, which is a small roller that rolls against the, so the pressures are not metal to metal like they were in the older engines.
And it's a lot less
And I
friction.
should have known this as a car guy, that the flat-tappet I required to go get an additive and put it into this engine if I'm going to drive a flat-tappet. And I didn't do it thinking, well, modern oil must have everything, and it doesn't. Because someone in the great EPA said, well, zinc's going to make us all crazy and we're going to be all deformed if we have it.
No, they said it's going to poison the catalyst and it won't work as well.
It'll poison the catalyst. And oh, by the way, my car doesn't have a catalytic converter. And
Well, it's not even that. There's bigger problems than this that the EPA is ignoring, including all of the carbon buildup on cars that's coming. Direct injected engines, despite what they tell you, have horrendous carbon buildup. And there are some certain manufacturers out there that in their early engines, you actually have to take them apart and spend, I'm not kidding you, $3,000 to decarbon them. One is so bad that it looks like stalactites and stalagmites. It's just ridiculous.
Now, you folks, I know that you heard about several years ago when viscosities had changed, and Toyota, I believe, and Lexus, and some of the manufacturers had what they call the sludge problem. Remember? It was an oil sludge problem because they changed the chemical makeup of our motor oil.
Yep.
Now, without ZZDP, you can get ZZDP, and diesel engine oil has it because diesels have higher operating, and you can get it in some truck, but you can get it in STP. You can buy an additive.
Yeah, you can buy
if you have, here's my plea to you. If you don't pay attention to the EPA, they will somehow figure out a way to ruin your car. So if you don't have a roller motor, and you can very easily check it, if you have an older classic car, especially a big V8 American muscle car, and you don't have a roller in it, it has a flat-tappet engine, please don't do what I do and put brand new oil, new filters. It's not going to help you. You need to put a ZZDP additive, a zinc additive, or buy like STP or some additive.
It's only a little bottle about that big.
Every time, and introduce it back into the system,
Yep.
or convert your car to a roller motor with a roller camshaft.
Right, but then look at my classic cars. You can't put roller cams on those. Mine, the Lotus has got overhead cams. Can't
That's
do
right.
that. I've got
I don't know how to-
ZZDP. In fact, I destroyed my lawnmower engine a couple of years ago. I'm sitting there going, "What the heck happened?" And they said, "Well, we had to give you a new short block, man." Like,
You destroyed the
why?
engine. You destroyed the engine in your lawnmower?
You bet I did.
Because it didn't have zinc.
comprehensively.
Ooh. Wow. Well,
I didn't
so,
put the rod to the side of the block, but
no, but that's
getting
still.
there.
So, folks, it's going to cost me several $1,000s to get my car back on the road. So don't assume anything.
Don't be John, is what
No.
he's saying.
Well, okay. Yeah, I'm trying to help you out here. I'm trying to save you like $4 or $5 grand. So my car.
If you have anything that's older than 2000, you really want to be using ZZDP.
Sorry. Yeah.
You really do.
Go to the AutoZone. Check it out. Don't get it done at the Zippy Lube Center because they're just going to put new oil in it. And their oil is even worse. The stuff from China doesn't even meet basic. Don't buy non-branded oil.
No.
That's the other thing.
Oh, gosh,
So,
no.
Chris, that was so depressing. I was going to cry. Did anybody see me tearing up?
No.
Okay, good.
No.
Because now I'm going to try to cheer people up. We're going to give you something that's a little more fun. Okay, we're going to show you the pick of the week.
Okay.
Yeah, and today's pick of the week is crazy. It's so crazy. When you look at it, you won't believe it. Okay, this comes to us. This comes to us from Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Okay,
Now take a look at this picture, folks. This is a sign in front of a car dealership. They used a giant crane to pick up a Mustang and another car, and they hung them up and then put the sign underneath it. So these Mustangs and these real cars are hanging from a string over their dealership on this crane, so to get you to pay attention that 50 feet into the air, these cars are flying. Now, do you remember back on Route 66? Oh, you weren't there. Remember back in the day where you had a junkyard, you put a car up on the building? You know, what was
Well, what about Wetmore's back on 8 Mile?
And Visetta Garage had
Yeah.
a little, remember?
Yeah.
And that really gets your attention when a car is on top of a building.
Yeah, well, and it's not a tornado. Yes.
Yeah, or that there wasn't that the
Tennessee and Kentucky.
or
is pretty
wasn't the
common.
senior citizen who really should
Yeah.
she actually
thought I had it.
the brake and then went through the window and you're in Starbucks next to somebody with the car. Those things get your attention. So I just thought it was very cool. That pick of the week's crazy. But you know, there's even more. Now we got Pride of My Ride. Yes, sir. This one, it comes to us from Dave Rink of Tempe, Arizona. He sends us a picture of his 1970 Ford Maverick. Check this thing out, Chris. White Ford Maverick. Look at those tiny little bumpers.
Wow.
That thing, you know, Maverick was going to be the Volkswagen beater. You know, they were going to call.
Anyway.
Okay, I know. Well, VW was on the shores. It was 19. I remember it was 1999 for a Ford Maverick.
Yes, but let's tell the story.
Okay.
The Maverick was actually the car that started it all at Ford in the 60s, and that was the Falcon.
Yeah.
It was the Falcon platform. It was the 1960 Falcon updated again and again and
This
again.
economy car, basic.
And
great
weren't they
trans-
going to try to pull the Mustang off of that again? So the Mustang would have gone back to the original platform it had been.
Crazy. Makes
Boy,
no
they were
sense.
cheap back then.
But Dave Rink from Tempe, Arizona, you watch us on the Cars in Context TV on YouTube. Thanks for sending that in. If you have a car that you have pride in, send it to me, J. Clor at carsincontext.com. We'll be putting it on the air, but we have even more fun. Now is the time when we bring up Lauren Parrott of WMTV, and she tells us if we have viewer mail. Lauren, do we have viewer mail?
You do have viewer mail.
No way! She did it again, folks. Lauren, thank you
She had
so
to write
much.
it herself, but you know.
Good job, Lauren. Okay, Chris, why don't you take this first letter?
Okay, this one comes to us from Aaron R. of Grosse Pointe Park, who watches Cars in Context on Comcast Cable Channel 915, which is?
HD.
There you go. Dear Chris, I liked your V2V show, which is vehicle-to-vehicle communications, and saw a report by independent automotive security researchers that says the 2014 Jeep Cherokee,
Yeah, I saw this.
2015 Cadillac Escalade, and 2014 Toyota Prius are the most hackable vehicles.
Oh, no!
With the 2014 Dodge Viper and 2014 Audi A8 the least hackable. I have a Prius. Should I be worried? Well, not about being hacked. More
Aaron,
about people looking at you going,
You have a
"Really?"
Prius. Aaron, seriously?
Seriously, no.
Prius?
Right now, it's nothing important. Remember, most of the hacking comes from China and Russia.
Yeah.
It's being done on large scale. We haven't had mobile hacking at any point yet, but it's going to open pretty soon. You're going to see people hacking your car to get in and basically open it up, steal it, do that sort of stuff.
Unless you're driving in China or Russia lately, so keep your Prius here. I've got one here. This one comes to us from Mike B. of Grosse Pointe Woods, who watches Cars in Context on 18TU, verse 99.
That's where I watch it.
That's right. It says, Dear John, loved your Nitsa is Worthless show. I love that one, too.
Didn't we turn out to be right?
Yeah, we did turn out to be right. Now I hear a new government committee is planning a hearing on NHTSA's role both on handling of the complaints during the ignition switch for GM and now on the Tata airbag problem.
Oh, Takata, yeah.
Yeah.
This isn't the first time Takata's been in trouble.
No,
either.
no. So it says, could they now possibly get the heave-ho?
No.
Wait. So in other words, folks, what Chris is saying, NHTSA can screw up as much as it wants. It can cost you millions and millions of dollars to be the government agency oversight, and they will never get the heave-ho. Why? Why, Chris?
Never
Why?
forget this,
Why?
that in 2000 we actually got rid of a tax that was put on telephone bills to pay for the Spanish-American War.
You're saying,
So in
what
other
you're
words,
saying is once
once
you get
it's
a
created
tax,
by the government, it's the
Yeah.
closest thing you get to
Yeah.
eternal life.
Oh my gosh, that was awful. I'm sorry. I'd love to give you better news, Mike, but the answer is no. NHTSA's not going away. Probably neither is the EPA. So all we can do is just outsmart those guys. Chris, again, putting cars in context. I love to read you on the virtualdriver.com. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
And folks, you remember too that our motto here is that knowledge is power. So until next time, I've been your host, John Clor, and thanks for watching.
I thought it was you have to be this tall to ride this ride.
Well, that'll be the next motto we have.